Well, from flu shot to having no shot, the Center for Disease Control announcing this year's flu season has begun an epidemic thanks to a flu vaccine that's only partially effective. And now the seemingly contained spread of Ebola is reaching places like Scotland. Are we getting the real skinny then on our health? Healthcare watcher Betsy McCaughey says we are not. Well, it does make you wonder.
Well, it certainly does. This new flu strain, H3N2, has severe symptoms, and it's causing double the hospitalizations we saw last year, right?
Was there any treatment for it?
Well, the vaccine, it's largely unresponsive to the vaccine that was developed because the flu mutated after the vaccine was developed. But here's the story. The CDC have inadequate data, an inadequate vaccine, inadequate vaccination rates among the high-risk groups like pregnant women and the elderly, and an inadequate supply of the liquid antiviral drug such as Tamiflu. So all along the way, the CDC have done an inadequate job. It's the Centers for Denial and Confusion.
Do you take the flu shot?
I don't.
Why not?
Because I've never gotten sick. Thank God.
But no, I've met a lot of people who swear it off, and the doctors say take a flu shot, especially if you're vulnerable.
Group,
but I've known so many people who have complications with it, or they get the flu.
Yeah. But 15 children have died already this year. Unfortunately, the CDC lacked data on how many adults have been affected.
But that wasn't a result of the shot.
No. Died from this flu. It's a severe strain. And the fact is that the CDC is suffering from mission confusion. They're so focused on political issues like community transformation grants, menu labeling, exercising in the workplace, that they've forgotten their mission was to control and prevent the spread of infectious diseases.
Well, maybe Ebola, to be fair to them, I mean, caught the whole world off guard, and they were distracted dealing with that and not looking at some of the flus in our own neck of the woods.
They've spent hundreds of millions of dollars preparing hospitals all around the country for Ebola, but only one person in the United States has died from Ebola, and that person carried the disease here.
Well, by the way, are you worried about Ebola anymore? You were.
I'm only concerned that doctors who treat Ebola victims in Africa still are traveling. We know that somewhere
How did this Scottish case happen?
Well, because somewhere between 13 and 18% of people infected with Ebola do not develop a fever.
Right.
So the fever screening doesn't work. And these doctors say, well, they haven't been exposed because they're wearing the protective gear. But 360 doctors have died. Doctors and other healthcare workers have died from Ebola, and many of them were wearing protective gear.
But you're right in this case about Ebola and what happened early on. It did kind of mutate a little bit from what it was originally. These particular strands of flu that have killed these kids, that was an example of another mutating. Why are these things mutating to the degree they are?
That's nature. Viruses always
But it's
mutate.
Unusual that they do so several at the same time, isn't it?
No, we see lots of that. The key here is that we need the CDC to focus on diseases that are contagious and that are spreading rapidly in the United States. I'll give you one that I deal with every single day. Hospital infections. They are raging through hospitals, making it too unsafe to seek care if you have cancer, for example. And there's a new superbug, CRE. It started in one state in 2003. It's spread to 46 states now, and the has a mortality rate of 50%, and the CDC can't even tell you how many cases there are.
Do you ever worry, though, if you get sick and go to the hospital, it's the end of your life? They're going to say, oh, look who's here.
No, I don't worry about that.
Okay, good. All right, well, good. Stay healthy.
I'm going to call you, right?
Betsy McCaughey. She's on these things before a lot of other people, I got to tell you. Meanwhile,